Hey,
Hi.
Jim's fiddling with the.
Fiddling.
Don't mess with the teleprompter.
Fiddling.
Yeah. Welcome.
I'm a fiddler.
Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast, where I apparently have a radio voice.
I apparently do too. I think yours is more radio and mine's more game show.
I think, yeah, but I don't do it for that long. Like the intro, I got to sound excited.
Right. Yeah. I've got to manufacture some fake excitement.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, how are you doing tonight?"
Yeah, let me hear you make some noise. Well, no, we can't do that because it's audio podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
we
we can't hear you make some noise, but we can be like, "Hey,
Hi everybody! Wow, wowza!
Just saying.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah.
He is Jim Z.
Indeed.
I am
This
Mike.
is Mike.
And what have we got on tap this week?
Oh man, we have a last minute interview.
Yeah, we have
That
somebody
Fantastic.
who came in for the hot tag.
Yeah.
We had somebody booked. They ended up backing out,
Get a better deal.
and then we ended up getting somebody else.
Yeah.
Funny enough, despite only having like 18 hours confirmation.
Yeah.
Still not the least amount of time between like finding out we had a guest and having them on.
Right. Still not the least amount of prep time.
Yeah. Which we did with Conquer Divide because somebody else was a dick and backed out. But
I gotta say for Conquer Divide and anybody that's jumped on like kind of last minute, that's awesome. So
yeah,
thank you.
And they've been great. They've been a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Absolutely.
So Tracy Williams making the no, not Tracy Williams. That's his tag team partner. So ROH Superstar, member of the foundation,
The professional
Rhett Titus is joining us today. Yeah, man, he's a super cool dude. Been in the business for a long time. 15-year veteran. In ROH.
I didn't ask him about, but I found some of his
some of his old
his old nicknames. We have Retsky the Jetski,
which
I really wanted to ask him about, and there just wasn't like the moment to do it. And also the handstand warrior, which is just awesome. That sounds like something I think his kid gave him that
one. Maybe,
which I think is great.
Yeah. And then
Addicted to Love and The Sexiest Man Alive. Sexiest Man Alive, which was given to him
by Adam Pierce
as a joke.
Yeah. Well,
and he ran with it because that's what you do when you're a professional. And
that's what you do.
The professional.
When somebody fucks with you, you lean into it.
Yeah.
And then it no longer becomes a joke on you. It becomes your new gimmick, and you make T-shirts and you say, "I'm selling them, and you're not getting any."
That's right.
So, yeah.
So he was super cool, man.
Yeah, it was super cool.
I liked a lot of cool some road stories, a lot of like health stuff.
Yeah.
He's an intermittent faster. That was fascinating to kind of like find out a little bit about. Very cool. Very cool dude.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I liked it. It was
podcast fan. He gave some good podcast suggestions. So
indeed, definitely check it out. Check out what he's got. And yeah, it was very cool. And before we go any further, we do have to thank some of our sponsors. Of course, the Bark Boxes,
right,
and the Paramount Plus, and the Pod Decks, and the Legacy Sports Subs.
Most importantly, we would like to thank all of our patrons over at patreon.com. You guys are awesome, and your support helps keep this show free, and it helps keep this show running, plus all the other content that we do over on our Patreon, the tasting stuff and music stuff and early access to T-shirts and episodes and stuff. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it and for being for sponsoring the show. And any of you that want to that are thinking about maybe wanting to help the show or wanted to know more about that, jump over at patreon.com. Bacon is my podcast, and check it out. See if it's something that you might be interested in. We have pretty low tiers. We're not we're not pigs. We're not banging people for their bucks.
We just abuse ourselves a lot of the time. So
and some live streams
and people like it. So definitely check it out. So Jimsy, what do you say? We get into this?
Yeah, I think we had a good long talk with him, so we should jump right in. So So guys,
without further ado,
here we go. Here's our interview with Rhett Titus right now.
On your fitness journey, extraordinary results require extraordinary action. Your training and quality of nutrition is definitely key, but adding a well-developed nutritional supplement protocol will push your results to the next level. And that's where Legacy Sports Nutrition comes in. Legacy Sports Nutrition believes that everything you want to achieve in life can be aided by optimizing human performance. All of their formulas have been professionally developed for both men and women and are made to the highest quality standards. Legacy Sports Nutrition is a brand founded and operated by athletes who have been performing at world-class levels for decades. When I say athletes who perform at world-class levels, I truly mean it. This is NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis's company, so you know these items are absolutely championship quality. Go to LegacySups.com and use the promo code BACONPOD and you'll receive 10% off your order. Once again, that's LegacySups.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD for 10% off your order. Set your goals, push your limits, and leave your legacy.
Welcome, everyone.
It's your game show voice. I love it.
Yeah. Our last guest was kind of like, you turned that that show voice on. I was like,
yeah. I noticed that too when I did it on the questions.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, what a dork.
What a dork. Yeah,
but yeah, continue, please.
Welcome everybody to Bacon is My Podcast. Today we have ROH Superstar, member of the foundation, Mr. Rhett Titus. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, boys? How we doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How are you doing today? Where are you coming to us from?
Well, actually, I was on the boardwalk all day down in Wildwood. So,
nice.
Playing some games and going on some rides and all that sort of stuff. Got a little sunburn today,
It's a beautiful day. Sun-kissed, my friend. Sun-kissed.
Enjoying the Jersey Shore.
Nice.
Awesome. It's awesome.
I haven't been there. We're not far from you. We're over in Long Island right now.
Oh,
okay. I haven't been to last time I was at the Jersey Shore was obviously not last year, but the year before, when our bands did the Jersey Shore Festival.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, I love that. It's such a good time. I love the area. Super fun.
You gotta at least get there once a summer,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's so funny because I live in Wantagh, which is where Jones Beach is. I haven't been there this year so far. Yeah, all summer. I still haven't been there. Yeah, I it's so stupid. I take it for granted, I think.
I think it's easier to get to the beach in Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah.
It's easier than dealing with it here.
That's very true.
So are you a beach person, born growing up on the beach all the time? Swimmer, surfer, anything like that?
Not really, no. I just go once in a while, I don't really like getting sand on my shoes and all that.
Yeah, I'm definitely more a pool person than a beach person.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more of a pool person myself too.
Yeah. I feel like boardwalks I can do all day long, but like the beach, I'm an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, once you get the sand on your hands, and you're trying to eat something or get something out of your eye, but you got sand all your hands, and then you got to go in the water and get it all washed off, and then you come back and you sit down and you get more sand on your hands. And there's sand on the towel. If it's windy out that day, forget about it.
Do you ever have those friends that were like, "Oh man, picnics on the beach," and they want to bring sandwiches and stuff, and you're like, "Why are you even doing that?"
Yeah, and like then you just gotta embrace the crunch of the sand in your stomach.
Right, yeah.
You're
A
just
healthy
like,
mouthful of sand with my lettuce.
whatever. I'm so hungry right now.
Yeah, exactly. That or you slum it and you get your like boardwalk hamburger
Right.
or French fry for
Oh yeah.
stupid amounts of money. I know, like I have 2 kids, so that's all they want. Like, if you don't have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on you, you're eating a hamburger or chicken fingers. That's it.
Right.
So,
Pizza too.
oh yeah, they'll do pizza. They'll do
Pizza
pizza.
too, yeah. That's the go-to. That's the no one says no to pizza.
Yeah,
I can be completely full and somebody will be like, "You want pizza?" And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I guess I'll have it. So you mentioned in the what's your question thing that you're a vegetarian. Is that
Yes.
how long have you been vegetarian? Has that been forever, or is that
About 5 years now.
okay?
I was always kind of weird about meat. For as long as I remember. Nothing
Right.
like I would always eat it, but like if you put like this big steak in front of me and we're like, hey man, like, go ahead, go to town on the steak, cut it up, do your thing, I'd be like, But like if it was like cut up and cooked well done, then I would eat it, like
Okay.
I never really liked eating things off the bone. And then it got to a point where I was eating so much chicken every week. And I was like, man, how many chickens got to die to feed me? I'd always be thinking that. And then like I watched that documentary, What the Health, and
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
and then like, man, it was
Yeah, especially if you're already kind of skeeved out a little bit, it's
yeah.
like you watch something like that, and it's like, all right, I'm good.
right over that edge.
I'm
And
absolutely good.
I had cut out pork like a while before that, because I just couldn't do pork anymore. I just found it so disgusting, and then that I was like, all right, I'm done. And my wife was like, yeah, sure, we'll see how long that lasts. And 5 years later, here we are.
Are you just vegetarian, or are you like full on vegan?
I'm just a vegetarian. It's what's considered a octo-lacto vegetarian. So I don't eat meat. I don't eat fish. But I'll still eat products that animals make, like eggs or,
Right.
like cheese or milk or something like that. So
Yeah, I think cheese would be the hardest one to get away from.
Well,
If
yeah,
anything,
pizza's done
it's
then.
cheese. It's like
I
the
mean,
greatest invention.
there's still a bunch of cheese substitutes and stuff too. Which
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's
Yeah.
definitely some good ones.
If there are good ones, my brother-in-law doesn't use them. I know that for a fact.
My girlfriend tries she has Graves, and so she's trying all these different diets at all different times, and so it's like 1 week it'll be this, and then she's trying to eat this way or that way. So we've tried like literally everything, and just it's like, all right, let's do this for a while, let's check it out and see how it works and how it works with her and stuff. It's that like that figuring out your health kind of thing, right? Like you're always kind of like, okay, this is my body, and how does it deal with this, and how does it deal with that? I read and I heard that you've been doing more like intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah.
So what's that been like? How have you found that, dude? Like people that have done it or talked about it said that sometimes it makes them have less energy. Do you find that, especially like before matches and stuff like that? Like how long do you go before a match?
I mean, at first, it's hard to do things while you're fasting. You just kind of get into the swing of it. But like the other week I wrestled. I had this indie show I had, and then like on my way to the indie show, like someone else called me like, hey, do you think you can come do this show when you're done at that one? I was like, oh yeah, sure. So like I had like 2 like 20-minute matches, and I didn't eat for either of them. I'd been fasting for like by the time I ate, it was like almost 24 hours. So like but I was good. I was like, I could have gone for longer, but I was like, I should probably eat now. I burned so many calories and all. But at first it was very hard to wrestle while fasting, like because you were used to getting like some food in you beforehand and having those calories to burn off. But man, I remember like my first match fasting, I was like, oh man, but now it doesn't really bother me, you know. So um, it all kind of depends on the day and the time of the show for me, like of what time I'm wrestling at. Like I usually try to hold off until after I wrestle to break my fast, but you know, sometimes I'm not wrestling to 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and then that kind of becomes, you know, just like annoying. You know, it's like,
Right.
you know,
Then you're eating
especially
at like 2 in the morning.
especially if you like it's a big show like a pay-per-view or something, and you're already kind of like anxious, you know,
Yeah.
about it. Like the best in the world pay-per-view was just the other week, and you know, anytime like the pay-per-view shows, you always get like anxious about them, you know, especially it being the first one back for Ring of Honor with fans back and stuff.
Yes.
So,
Right.
but then you like mix that anxiety with fasting, and you're just like, oh, you know, it's just like, oh man, and like it's funny because one of my friends was like, "What? Why do you do this to yourself all the time?" I don't know, but
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it becomes crazy though because you just become so like used to like not eating that. If you were to just like wake up and like, you know, eat breakfast and then eat lunch and like just go on that like 2 hour you know, meal type thing. That's what I used to always do. It was like every 2 hours I
Yeah.
would eat, but like now it just seems like such a foreign thing, you know. So if I can go like 18 hours without eating and then just like have that like last like 6 hours, you know, just to like, you know, then it's like it's feeding time at that point, you know. So, you know, like, yeah, I ain't got to worry about anything else right now, but just eating, you know. So,
Right.
but you get so much more work done, and you know, you just focus on other things and just drink coffee to help with your appetite. I definitely don't recommend people starting off with like really long fasts. You know, if you could do like an 8 hour and then bump it up to 10 hour and 12, and kind of go like along that. So, you know, I don't recommend people hopping into like 16 or 18 hours right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah, let your
I,
body build up to it, because if you don't, you're gonna starve yourself and you're gonna get frustrated, and it's not gonna work out for you. So start in little increments.
I actually can't eat. Well, we're musicians, obviously,
Oh,
and I can't eat before a show. I sing, and I can't eat 8 hours before a show.
Right.
oh
Six
wow.
to 8 hours. But and then like come showtime, like depending on when we go on, so I'll a lot of times I'll miss lunch. But if we're on late, if we're closing or whatever, I'm such a grouch. I'm such a grouch. And then it's finding food at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, no, this is awful.
Did you find that? Did it affect your mood or anything like that? Or
Um, no, no, like, you know, I'm just like kind of like just waiting to eat. You know,
right.
like it's like, oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, you seem pretty like laid back in that regard, for sure.
Yeah, you know, you just, you know, if you're gonna get angry about it or whatever, then why are you doing it? You know.
That's fair.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
man. You shouldn't do anything you get angry about. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense at all.
Right.
So that's awesome. I found that interesting when I heard it, just because I know that like as a fan of professional wrestling, I've been a fan my entire life, and I've always like looked at wrestlers, and especially in the last number of years, it's like greatest athletes, bar none. You know what I mean? Just the athleticism is incredible. So when you hear about like somebody like you that's like, yeah, I'm fasting for 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that, it's like, oh man, because I've always heard, you know, maybe not bodybuilders, but people that were working on their body and doing more athletics. It's like you do the eat every 2 hours, eat every 3 hours, you're grazing, you're doing that, and you hear so much stuff. So it's like interesting to hear somebody that's got a thing that they figured out for themselves, where it's like,
Yeah.
this is what I do and it works, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's I dig it, you know. But
Yeah.
like what works for me may not work for you guys, or
Right,
vice
of course.
versa, you know. So everybody's just gotta find their thing, you know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
remember, I remember like probably about like 10 years ago, Chris Hero had told me about this, and I was like, intermittent fasting, like, oh man, no way, like, it's not gonna work. and it just wasn't my thing, you know. But I was listening to this podcast, and they would always be talking about intermittent fasting and like how all the great benefits that they would get from it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens, and I wound up liking it. So
That's cool, man.
Yeah, if it
That's
works, that's awesome, for sure. So, tell me what was cooler, wrestling at MSG or wrestling on a cruise ship?
ooh, probably wrestling at MSG because you know you never really aspire to wrestle on a cruise ship or something like that.
Right.
It's like
The bucket
one of
list.
these like yeah, it's just like one of these opportune things that happens, and you're just like, oh man. But yeah, man, that was a really good time. The cruise, obviously, I I actually did a lot of fasting on that cruise because there wasn't like a whole bunch of like vegetarian options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just be like eating a lot of like my protein bars and protein shakes that I brought, because obviously I could go like eat pizza or something like that, but that doesn't really fit into my diet or anything, and that's not really good food to be putting into you. But yeah, that was a great time. It's a lot of like fasting and protein shakes and carrot sticks and celery and beer. That's like where I was getting all my calories from. But but yeah, and then wrestling at MSG, man. Oh, that was just like, that was just crazy. I remember when Ring of Honor first ran the Hammerstein Ballroom, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is as big as it gets. Like this is great. And you never even like thought to like for MSG because that was always just like WWE's
Right.
building, so it just seemed unattainable or whatever unless you were going to WWE. And man, and to find out that we sold it out, it was crazy.
Yes.
Like it's just but it was cool, like, because I was always a big like New Jersey Devils fan growing up as a kid.
Oh, okay.
And they like I somehow they needed me to like take pictures with a fan, and they brought me into the Rangers locker room, like, and I was like, what the hell? And like took pictures, like thumbs down for the Rangers, so
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was an awesome show. It was really, really cool. Like a lot of really cool moments and stuff like that.
We'll be right back.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And before we get into this week, if one episode just isn't enough for you and you need a little bit more Bacon is My Podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast. Over there, you will get access to monthly live streams, discounts on merch, early and commercial-free access to Bacon is My Podcast episodes. Some of them are even extended surprise giveaways, additional shows, including Tasting is My Passion, and, of course, Cooking with Bacon is My Passion. And oh yeah, you get a crap ton of music. That's right, all of Jimmy and Mike's bands, previous, current, whatever it is, you will get access to that music, demos, and much, much more. Just head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast and learn what the hoopla is all about.
I am Flo Shomo from My Top 5 Podcast, and you have been listening. This is what happens when I have to do intros to our podcast, you bastards. You're just
It's
watching.
total red light panic. I love it.
love it.
I'm
No
Flo
pressure.
Shomo. Oh, you just interrupted me now. You just interrupted the swing. Who is this guy?
You
Who
need to
is this
shut
guy?
your mouth.
I'm Flo Shomo from My Top 5 Podcast, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
Now you're going to be going, and I'm sure it's not the first time, but you're going to be wrestling 2300 Arena soon too.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, you were a fan of ECW and stuff like that. So how does it feel to like wrestle in an arena like that? Especially, I mean, yeah, MSG has a lot of history, but like I feel for our age, our generation, more of our memories are from the 2300 arena. Almost. I don't know about you guys, but for me.
I mean, I went to the ECW arena for the first time in 1994 when I was 6 years old, and I went to a whole bunch of wrestling shows there after that. So definitely holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wrestled there, tons and tons and tons and tons of times, and it just never gets old. You just always think like about like where stuff like may have happened, like like there's the eagle's nest, or there's that pole there that you'd always see when the guys were walking out, or just stupid stuff like that, and like the outside of the building, and there was always cool to like go down to Tony Luke's before the show, but can't do that no more being a vegetarian.
Not a lot there, yeah.
But I'm excited to be going back to the 2300 arena because we got 2 big nights there. On the August 20th and the 21st. Mm-hmm. So, and the one night I'm actually wrestling one of my stablemates in the foundation, the Octopus Jonathan Gresham, and it's for the Ring of Honor Pure title. And man, there's not many people who can say that they're one of the best in the world, but Jonathan Gresham can definitely, make that claim. And I'm very interested in getting in there, mixing it up with him once again. And like I said, he's a partner of mine, but in our only singles encounter, I actually beat him in 2019. So
that's precedent, man. It sets precedent.
So I'm looking to head out of the ECW arena or the 2300 arena with the Ring of Honor Pure title.
Nice.
I really like the concept of the Pure title. When they announced that and they created that, I was so intrigued by it because now you got your AEWs, and Ring of Honor has always been very much more of a sports presentation and stuff like that. But the Pure title, I love the concept. I love the idea. I almost like I wish they would do more of that on their television, but obviously they get only so much room and enough titles, but I love the concept. I like the fact that it doesn't look like it's very popular. It looks like it's going to stay.
Yeah, and it's really cool to like watch it on TV too, with like the scoreboard and like the rope breaks each guy has, and just adds a whole nother element to professional wrestling. And really, you as a fan, you can kind of sit back and watch the wrestlers' strategies and figure out why guys are, why is he going for his leg over here? Like, he has this big drop kick that he throws, and if I attack his leg, it's going to hinder one of his signature moves. So there's a whole lot more of thinking to it than just your everyday wrestling in 2021.
Yeah, it's a little bit more thought out than like Raw Underground or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was thought out.
Yeah.
No, I like that too, because it's you think when you look at pro wrestling, it's like it's you think like how hard is it to introduce something that is new, or that hasn't kind of been seen or hasn't been done, or is a new way to look at it. And I thought that was a really cool kind of thing where it was like, this like it makes everything mean something in a tangible way that you can kind of like see and you can look at, and it invites fans into the, like you were saying, the like the strategies, everything, which I think is pretty awesome, because I've always my favorite wrestlers were always the ones that like I kind of understood why they were doing things. I always like my guys when I was growing up were like Bret Hart, and it was like Shawn Michaels, and it was the guys that like had technique. I was never a Hulkamaniac. I just didn't like I just didn't do it for me. I like the bad guys, but I was a savage, Mark. But I like that idea that you can look at it and you go, oh, cool. Like you said, like, he's going after his leg because, he throws a killer dropkick and he wants to take that out of the arsenal. I think that's awesome. I love when you see the strategy happening. There's a reason behind things. Now going to shows since you were like 4, like you said, you've been a lifelong fan, so you've seen it presented in so many different ways. Do you, as a fan, do you prefer wrestling when it's presented as more of a legit sport, or are you into, or do you prefer when it gets some of the more campy stuff and some of the more like crazy storyline stuff, or do you like a mix of the two?
I mean, I'm more of a fan of wrestling as a sport. You know, my favorite wrestling to go back and watch is like the NWA and Mid-South Wrestling, and, world class wrestling, and a lot of the stuff from the 80s, and a lot of the Ring of Honor stuff over the years as well. It's just when I went to the first Ring of Honor show ever, and like that was like,
really,
yeah, I was like, as a fan, and I was like, man, like this is wrestling as a sport. Like this is like something that I wanted to do. Like I'd always wanted to be a wrestler, but I often say that had I not gone to that Ring of Honor show, the first Ring of Honor show, and become a fan of Ring of Honor, that I probably wouldn't have followed through with it, because I seen guys there like who were similar size to me, and I was like, oh man, like this is cool. Like
I can see myself there.
I'm taller than him.
Right.
Like I can do this. So and it I was like, wow, like, and this is a whole. We were used to watching wrestling on TV where it wasn't really treated seriously. You kind of like before that, like you kind of like just everything would be like about the promos beforehand or whatever. So and finding Ring of Honor, led me back to all that other old stuff that I was talking about before. Because I watched WCW and WWF as a kid, and ECW too, but going back into the 80s and watching all that stuff, that was really good stuff.
Yeah, it's cool because you got, like, when it comes to ROH, you guys do matches. You have an hour, you fill that hour with matches, and it's still, the storylines still progress. You may not see every single person on the card every week, like on the roster rather, every week, and it's I don't know. I find it to be a lot more easy to watch than like
you can
a
jump
Raw
in.
and a SmackDown and 7 hours of wrestling in a week. It's a lot.
But there's something for everybody.
And it's not even wrestling. You got like the first half hour of a show is a promo to set up the rest of the show and backstage vignettes.
Right.
It's like,
think about it like this, when you're watching a show on Netflix or something, and it comes to the end, you want to be able to hit that button and be like, oh, let's watch the next one, and but you sit there and you watch a 3-hour wrestling show and you're just like, oh, thank God it's over. But the cool thing about Ring of Honor is it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 1 hour or so, and a lot of the wrestling shows on TV right now aren't 1 hour. So I think
there's a lot of supplement too, which is cool.
I think Ring of Honor, that's one of the best things that they have going for them. Granted, it sucks that you don't always get to see everybody every week, like you said, but it makes it more meaningful when you do see your favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we got to take a quick time out. As you could probably tell by now, Jim and I, we're t-shirt guys. And we're always looking for the most comfortable and best fitting t-shirts possible when it comes to ourselves or our merch. Sometimes they're soft and they unravel in a few washes. Sometimes they're durable, but they feel like sandpaper on your nipples. And it's just not our thing. Well, maybe it's Jim's thing, but it's definitely not my thing. And, sometimes you clean your shirts and from sweating at work or on stage, they just kind of get all funky even after you clean them. Well, Fresh Clean Tees is a solution for all your t-shirt woes. With multiple styles and colors, they keep you looking so fresh and so clean. Go to baconismypodcast.com, click on the sponsors tab, and click on the Fresh Clean Tees link and start looking great and feeling great without spending a fortune. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Click on the sponsors tab, then scroll to that fresh, clean tees link to start looking comfortable and stylish at affordable prices.
Would you be willing to do just a bumper for us quick?
Sure.
Just say, hey, it's Eric Bischoff and you're consuming Bacon Is My Podcast.
Yep.
Whenever you're ready.
I forgot. What? Hi, everybody. I am Eric Bischoff, and you're listening to Bacon Is My Podcast.
I was just saying I like how you have this great roster in Ring of Honor, and I like that you don't see them all the time because, like you were saying, it does make it more special. And I also like that you don't watch the show knowing that there's all this talent, and they use like 2 people in like 4 segments of the show. Right. And it's like, you don't need like, and then there's replays. And I'm like, come on, just let me see some matches. Let me see some people. Let me enjoy a show. You know, stop trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Just let me enjoy myself for an hour, you know, or 2 hours or whatever, you know. So that's one thing I definitely appreciate about the shows also. I wanted to ask you because as a wrestler, you're an independent contractor, right? Or you're you're your own boss to a great extent. And it's kind of similar as far as being musicians and stuff. So you start to pick up all these other skills because you're making your own T-shirts and you're making your own website and you're, you know, promoting this and you're on social media for this and so what are I know for me, I've had to like some of the skills are like, okay, now I can edit videos. Now I can do graphic design, or I know who to call to do this. What are some things you've like picked up over all this time of kind of like being a wrestler and being a T-shirt salesman and being a social media person and be, you know, like all these things that you have to wrap up in there? And does it drive you nuts having to do all that?
Well, I still haven't figured out social media.
Me either, man.
Still trying to figure that one out, but I guess maybe like editing videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you know, I used to do like a lot of like you know, like short film-esque videos, like
right.
On my YouTube, and you know, I would edit them all on my own and do it on my phone, and just, you know, and it was just like a fun like little thing to pick up. You know, I used to like take a class, like a telecommunications class in high school, where we would use like these editors and stuff. So I had some like knowledge of how to do it, but I didn't know how to use the program on my phone. And you know, something like that, you know, that's cool. And like just like, you know, when you're doing the indie shows, it's just cool, like, you know, having like you said, like your own business, you know what I mean? And like all right, gotta have my photos here and like my T-shirts, and
right.
You're like thinking of all this stuff, and like, you know, if you're like if you run out of one, you're like, oh man, like, you know, I need those, you know, like
right. How do I get them before the next show?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Need more mediums.
Yeah,
more larges.
But it's just like, you know, it's cool, you know, because, and you know, you can interact with the people as well, and you know, make deals, and you know, do whatever the hell you want, you know. But
I think it's pretty cool. It's something I think people overlook sometimes, is because they look at you and they see you for what you do in the ring or on TV or something like that, but they don't realize that like you're a whole self-made brand. You know, you're selling the shirts, you're showing up and setting up the tables, and you're you know, being there to talk to people and creating this brand and everything. And I think that gets lost sometimes. People don't understand like all the work that goes into that, and damn, it's a lot of work to do before you get to go out and have the best time of your life for 20 minutes, you know, or 30 minutes or whatever that is, you know. And they don't realize that. Then you got to like, okay, I finished my gig. Now I got to go sell some more shirts. I got to go sign some things and all that.
And then like the worst is like when you're sitting there and like no one's coming up to the table and you're thinking, oh man, like hopefully hopefully they don't take like a picture of me at this table and I got like a lonely Virgil type,
Please don't meme me.
Well, we had an almost like that experience. We actually went to Ring of Honor. I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but we went to the TV tapings the night after in Vegas. This was before, I think it was 2018 or 2019. Mm-hmm. And Chase Owens was out by the shirts and stuff. And I was like looking at the shirts and stuff. And he's standing around. And he's just like, somebody please buy my shirt. And I was like, you know what, Chase? Give me a shirt. Give me a shirt. He said, somebody buy my shirt and support my gambling habit. I was like, let's do this. So no, it's definitely not fun to be sitting there and trying to hawk t-shirts and nobody be there for you.
It happens though.
Oh yeah, man.
Some of these little towns, man, like they're not good merch towns, so
yeah, you start to know, right? You start to kind of like, okay, we're here this weekend, so I know I can sell so much here because I'm not selling anything the next day. And then, oh cool, we got this stop, and I know they're always good there.
Well, like the key to it is like really going on before intermission, If it's intermission, you haven't wrestled yet,
right?
Man, it's a rough one, because
right.
And then you try to come out after the show, but people, they spent their money already, and they want to hit the road, and the parents want to get the kids out of there before they spend any more money, But that's
man. People think main event's the pole position, not so much.
Yeah,
not so much.
Oh, no, I'm always trying to get on before intermission.
So you guys, the foundation.
Hello?
We got you?
Okay, yeah.
All right, cool.
Completely froze there.
Yeah, you guys have like these sick masks that you come out with for your entrances and stuff. Who came up with that concept and where did you get them? Like they don't look like Party City off the wall kind
those
of
aren't off the rack masks.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously, it kind of all spawned from Jonathan Gresham's octopus mask. If you guys have ever seen that,
yeah.
I always thought that mask was badass, and then when Gresham, when we put together Foundation, like he wanted us each to like have like a mask that defined our character and all that sort of stuff, right? So I was like, oh man, like what the hell's my mask gonna be, But like. And I, some people like don't understand, like, oh, why is he wearing a mask? Like, what does his mask even mean? But like, what it is like, there's two sides, and like, it's, my name being the professional, there's two sides to professional. There's like the one business side, and then there's the one, it's a constant professional, and then there's the other side where it's a killer side, and it's the professional that's, hired to take you out. So,
right.
I always thought like the double entendre was probably a pretty cool thing. But, the guy who made them, he actually makes masks for movies and stuff, and he's out of Mexico. And I don't want to divulge too much information because
fair enough.
Style, so we see all these people on the indies with similar looking masks,
right? Yeah,
but they're not cheap either. So very, very expensive. But you got to spend money to make money, right?
True.
Yeah. It's a badass like part of your presentation, and man, it's awesome. I really do like the whole Foundation concept and stuff like that. I like the.
And it's something so cool too, because like now like I have like so many more like options for merchandise and so much more marketable with that mat, right. So it works out for myself as well.
Yeah, man. Action figures.
Yeah.
Action figures, bro.
I've seen ROH has a few of them. I've seen a couple of them, and they look kind of rough.
Yeah.
Kinda rough.
The figures, toys, they got better, as they went along. The first series was kind of but
Right.
the Jay Lethal and Brody King that just came out, they look pretty badass. So hoping that they'll put one out for myself eventually. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty dope. But I may have to just go the Shane Taylor route and get my own figure made.
I was just gonna say, you're gonna if they don't do it, just gotta make your own. So.
Right.
Yeah. So Shane Taylor made a bunch of figs all for himself. Obviously he's gonna sell them. He's not gonna sit around his house and play with them. But
you never know.
That's true. But they came out looking pretty cool. A little bit expensive, but like I said before, it takes you got to spend money to make money.
Money to make money. Yeah.
Well,
Invest in yourself.
Here's a fun little peek behind the curtain here. Rhett Titus is actually making the hot tag for Shane Taylor, who couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, because I don't know. I guess he took he was booked, and then
he big timed us.
He big timed us. Shane Taylor Promotions. He's got big things going on.
Oh man, hey, well.
Now you know what? I'm happier.
No, hey, listen,
I'm happy.
That's fine.
Hey,
we're team Bruce. We're team bouncers anyway. So.
I'm an All Night Express guy. So
maybe next week, Big Shane will come on. But
we're booked already.
Yeah, if we'll book him and then we'll cancel him and we'll call you up.
You want to start the pod decks? You want to pay some bills here?
Yeah.
So, Rhett, we are actually sponsored by a company called Pod Decks. What they are is they're almost like Cards Against Humanity, a little bit cleaner, more of like a PG. But basically what it is it's a product that helps podcasters who don't have verbal diarrhea like us break the ice a little bit, so you can get like episode ideas, interview questions, all that kind of stuff. So what we like to do is we like to get our guests to pick from one of the decks.
Yeah, we gave them a segment, man. We gave them a segment, and we would like you to choose which deck you would like, and we'll ask you a random pod decks question. So Mike's going to rattle off the names of the decks.
The names of the decks, we've got the episode deck, we've got interview deck 1, interview deck 2,
the sequel.
We've got the What the Heck deck, and the ever popular Would You Rather deck.
I say What the Heck deck.
What the heck? I always like the What the Heck ones.
I'm surprised more people don't pick it.
I am too. Yeah, I immediate gravitate towards that. I've
but
heard
a lot
all
of
the
people,
other stuff before.
Yeah, everybody likes the Would You Rather. I don't know. It's odd.
So if you're listening and you're interested in something like this, if you're a podcaster or if you just like having like cool little things to break the ice, I bartend. I'll bring them to the bar with me and things like that. You can go to poddex.com and fill up your cart. They got some cool merch. They got the decks. They got all kinds of stuff. And they're a super cool company. Their owner will email you back and thank you. They're just awesome to work with. Very cool people. And the decks are awesome. And you can even put in the promo code BACON and get 10% off your full order because bacon makes literally everything better. Whether it is regular bacon or vegetarian bacon, it all just makes it better. It all just makes it better.
Not hard to remember either.
No, not
their
at
shirt
all.
was 10% off as well.
Yeah, this shirt, this podcast ACDC-ish shirt.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So, Rhett, I'm going to fan these out, and young James here is going to scroll his finger.
Scroll. So for you listening, I'm scrolling.
And you just tell him when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, right here.
Let's go for the last.
Right. Nice. I like this question. All right. Rhett Titus, what strange thing would you like to happen at your funeral to make people laugh?
Does it have to be my funeral? Because
That's
Maybe-
kind of dark, but it doesn't have to be now.
Maybe when I die, like a few of my buddies can like prop me up like Weekend at Bernie's and
Weekend of birdies you around.
yeah,
I like that.
have one last weekend and go out with a bang, and
Nice.
just
I like that. That's a great answer.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too. I thought like have a party, don't tell anybody, and then just like sit you up in the corner or something, and just have you there at the party with some shades on. Everybody's taking pictures with you because it's your party, and then in the middle of it, just let them all know.
Oh yeah. By the way, surprise.
maybe put me behind the DJ booth all propped up like
Totally right. They're like, dude, he's killing it.
yeah. I got a beer in one hand and like
Right.
just and like someone has my head on a string and I'm bopping my head to the music.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm into that.
100%.
That's great. That's amazing, actually.
I think
Now I know what to put in my will.
yeah, put it in the will, and it's got to happen. You have to do it.
My
That's the big deal.
uncle passed away a few years ago, and his whole thing was, I just want everybody to go to a bar, have me cremated. Everybody go to the bar one night.
Yeah,
just drink, just hang out, and that's what we did. And
I
it
was
was
there.
pretty awesome. I was like, this guy's got the right idea.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Somehow funerals always end up with drinking afterwards.
Yeah,
they tend to, right?
yeah. But it's all right.
That's why we start before.
Commercial break.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And before we get into this week, if one episode just isn't enough for you and you need a little bit more Bacon is My Podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast. Over there, you will get access to monthly live streams, discounts on merch, early and commercial-free access to Bacon is My Podcast episodes. Some of them are even extended surprise giveaways, additional shows, including Tasting is My Passion, and, of course, Cooking with Bacon is My Passion. And oh yeah, you get a crap ton of music. That's right, all of Jimmy and Mike's bands, previous, current, whatever it is, you'll get access to that music, demos, and much, much more. Just head on over to patreon.com/Bacon is My Podcast and learn what the hoopla is all about.
This is Johnny B. Bad, the bad man of World Championship Wrestling, and you're consuming Bacon is My Podcast. And if you don't like it, it's going to be a blessing to teach you a lesson.
We're gonna bring the mood down, Jim.
That's what we do. Having a good time? We'll wreck it.
No worries. Speaking of music, though, what kind of music are you into, and like, how does that affect? You're obviously on the road a decent amount. I'm not since the pandemic, but
right.
like now you're getting back out on the road and stuff. So how does that impact your road buddies as well?
To be honest, I haven't really listened to a whole lot of music in the past few years. I was always like big into like hip hop and rap and that sort of thing. I always dug that, but I listen to so many podcasts that I'm constantly trying to be caught up and
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of your favorite podcasts? Like if you could recommend a podcast to somebody, what's the first one that you recommend?
yeah.
If someone's like, hey, what's a podcast that you can recommend for me?
if it wasn't like a pro wrestling podcast, because I listen to a lot of pro wrestling podcasts,
Right.
but Mark Bell, he has Mark Bell's Power Project.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Bell is actually a former pro wrestler. His brother was the documentarian behind Bigger, Stronger, Faster. If you guys ever saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was the weightlifter in it. The brother weightlifter, but he was a wrestler prior to that. But yeah, he has a really good podcast, and he always has like different like fitness people on, or different people from sports, even some people from wrestling and stuff like that. And that's one of the places where they were talking about fasting and all that stuff that got me into it. that one's definitely pretty cool. If you
Nice. What are some of your favorite wrestling podcasts?
well, the What's My Bacon podcast first and foremost. Right?
Yeah.
Always gotta listen to that one every Monday when it drops. But probably whatever Jim Cornette podcasts come out.
Yeah.
Always like the Jim Cornette podcast, and
Yeah, he's a fun one.
And lately, I've really been getting into that new Jeff Jarrett podcast. That's really
I haven't checked that one out yet. Yeah.
It's really good. Really good.
And it's just because you never really heard too much stories from Jeff Jarrett like that. Because obviously your Eric Bischoff podcast and your Bruce Pritchard ones, you kind of loosely heard a lot of those stories over the years, but you never really heard Jeff Jarrett's side of a lot of things, which is pretty cool to listen to. And the Arn podcast, I don't know if you guys listen to that, but lately, ever since they kind of changed the format up a little bit, and they've been going from the beginning of his career all the way through his career, and each stops he made and everything happened. It's kind of like a biography version of a podcast, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Yeah.
That's been really good lately too. So,
yeah, I haven't listened to the Arn one. I listened to 83 Weeks. The Jeff Jarrett one, I like that because he was behind a lot of really controversial stuff that happened in wrestling, and you hear about the walkouts and dude started his own wrestling promotion and stuff like that.
Right.
And what is it? It's 12 episodes in now, and they just scratched the surface of all of it. The starting of TNA was 4 episodes, and I was hooked the whole time. They're not short either. They're one of them was 3 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, because I'm always listening to podcasts, trying to get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I actually listened to my podcast on 1.5x, so my wife can't stand listening to them with me because the guys are always talking like this.
Right. Yeah. I found you can get 1.5 times is probably the fastest you can go. Otherwise, it's impossible to follow. But I've done that too, where I'll see a super long one and I'll be like, maybe I can take this one a little bit faster and follow it.
See, I've never done that. That.
Dude,
before.
It makes it go by faster. It
I
really
actually
does. Yeah.
So I listen to most of my podcasts. I have a 10-minute commute to and from work, but I listen to podcasts while I cook. I'll come home from work, I'll just fire the phone up and just go, and my wife is not a fan of that because I don't put it in headphones or anything like that. I just let it go.
Right.
She's like, the kids are here. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. They're good.
Don't go away. We'll be back right after these messages.
Okay, so in a world of streaming services, where can you find breaking news, live sports, and a mountain of entertainment? Look no further than Paramount Plus. With plans as low as $5.99 per month, you'll gain access to the following: live news from both national and local CBS networks, live sports from the NFL, NCAA, PGA, and much, much more. Your favorite MTV, BET, Nickelodeon, and Comedy Central shows from past and present. New original content like The Stand or Star Trek Picard or SpongeBob's Camp Coral. Smithsonian Channel shows and documentaries. Movies and much, much more. Go to baconismypodcast.com, click on the sponsors tab, and click on that Paramount Plus link, and open yourself to a peak streaming service. That's baconismypodcast.com, click on the sponsors tab, then on the Paramount Plus link, and dive into thousands of episodes, live TV, original series, and hit movies right now. Do it.
Hey, this is Ring of Honor's Beer City Bruiser, and when I'm cracking some cold ones and throwing them back, I love to take in Bacon Is My Podcast, and so should you.
Do you find that you are more of a fan now? Or are you able to stay the same kind of fan now? How do you feel about pro wrestling now after being in it for so long? Do you still Do you still get swept up in it and kind of lost in it and stuff?
At times, yeah, but like now, sometimes I'll be watching with like a fine eye.
Yeah, analyzing.
What's going on here? Oh gosh, and sometimes it can do more harm for you than good.
Yeah.
Just watching and like, man, like what are these guys thinking? But,
When's the last time you saw something that made you go like, this is awesome, this is why, this is what I love about this?
Man, I dug the Best in the World pay-per-view, and especially watching back, like I was like, that pay-per-view from top to bottom was like awesome. Like
fans were on fire.
Pretty sick, man. Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham versus Mike Bennett, that match was amazing.
That was great.
I was like, yeah, this is what makes me a fan right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, Gresham bringing that out of Mike Bennett, because Mike Bennett got a bad rap from being in WWE and going through that garbage, but like, dude can go.
Yeah.
Dude can go, and
absolutely,
that's what's awesome about the ROH pay-per-views and TV. It's like, oh, these people they can go, and this is cool. This is awesome. So, yeah, that was a good show. A very good show. You didn't even get to wrestle with your tag team partner, right?
Yeah, he got hit by a car.
Yeah.
So
Jay Lethal? Gresham wrestled the second time.
Yeah, Gresham filled in. Jay Lethal was supposed to fill in, but he got kind of brutalized by Brody King, and so Gresham had to fill in right after his pure title defense against Michael Bennett, and he was a little worse for wear after that 20-plus minute match.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the outcome. It's cool. It's cool. So if you were to add one person, and I think I know that there's an obvious answer, but if you were to add one person to the foundation, any promotion at all, who would it be?
Oh man, I mean,
that is
probably Bryan Danielson.
That's what I put in the notes. That's what I put in the notes.
He was in the very first main event of the first Ring of Honor show, and kind of always stood for what Ring of Honor was built upon. Even though he was the one who eventually won the Pure title from Nigel McGuinness, and unified the Pure and the World title, and thus doing away with the Pure division. Brian did a lot more for Pure Wrestling than a lot of other people ever have.
Right.
And what a guy to add, right? He's a very hot, popular name right now, and
he's relatively technical too.
Yeah. And he had a hand in training me as well, so that'd be cool to see all that come full circle. But
yeah, man, cool. So we'll probably wrap it up, but I think one of the things that we always talk to our guests about, whether it be bands or whatever, is pranks, because we notoriously used to pull pranks on each other. Separate bands. So what is the best rib you've ever pulled, and what's the best one that's been pulled on you?
Maybe not even best, just one you're particularly proud of.
Well, one of the best ones that ever was pulled on me was I was 2007 or so, and I wasn't even 21 yet, but somehow I found myself in all these bars in New York City after one of the Ring of Honor shows, and and I woke up not remembering much, and the entire locker room and the entire staff and everybody in Ring of Honor convinced me that I was down in the theater district making out with guys. And,
hey, man.
yeah, some old, you're making out with some old bald guy, and I was like, oh man.
Hey, man, you're addicted to love.
Never mind the fact that I was so hungover too, and like throwing up that day, and just like, oh my gosh. And I'll never forget. Like I went to the TikTok diner that was like really close to the Manhattan Center there, and I got some food. And I'm eating it, and like some toast and like eggs, and I'm trying to feel better, and it just wasn't feeling good, and like I just have all this like thoughts of making out with a dude in the theater district, and like I'm just like, oh. And I run into the bathroom, and I'm like, I gotta throw up, and I go to use the toilet, but someone's using the toilet, and I just see the sink, and like,
no.
like throw up thing. And I'll never forget the janitor walked in when it happened.
Oh.
And like I'm like looking at him like, I'm sorry. And I'm like trying to like clean it up, you know, like just and he's just like, just go.
Just get out.
And I'm like I looked in my pocket, and I like took out like a $5, and I'm like, here, I'm sorry. He's like, give me that.
Hey, he took it. He took it.
But yeah, that was probably one of the. And then eventually, at the end of the night, I was informed that it was all a big ruse, and
nice.
So,
well played.
Yeah. So that was probably one of the best ones on me.
Nice. That's a go. I always think about anytime someone has like a vomit story, because I've had many of those.
Yeah.
I've watched lots of people stumble in and out of, because I work at a bar as well. And anytime someone tries to clean up their own, like you're saying, it's always like you'll go in and they'll be, and I'm not trying to be gross or anything like that, but they'll always be like, they took like a napkin and there'll be one clean little swipe between everything. And they're just like, I took care of it. It's all good. It's all good. And you're like, it's everywhere except one little spot. You took care of a ring.
Oh, that's awful. Well,
so any that you pulled that you enjoy?
Oh man, a lot.
That you feel comfortable telling?
Are you trying not to incriminate yourself?
Right, I was gonna say.
Just anytime I got to play a rib on Little Will Ferraro, that was just always so much fun, because he would get so angry, and man, I got some good ones.
Yeah, man.
Big
dogs got to take him down.
Yeah. But yeah, he I'm trying to think here. There's one time where I just got him with like 3 good ones, like all weekend. Like one was where like I was driving and I didn't want to pull over to pee, and I saw that I had a salad bowl here, and I peed in the salad bowl, and then like I was like, thank God. Then I realized I had the salad bowl with all this piss in it. I didn't know what to do with it. And he was like, give me it, and he like took like juggling this salad bowl with piss in it, and he rolls the window down and tries throwing it out, and
all over the car,
all over him, all over the car. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, by the end of the weekend, he tried fighting me, and then a few months later, we became a tag team.
Isn't that always what happens, though?
It's always the way it starts, man. You can never team with someone that you like right away.
Yeah. No, I mean, we always liked each other, but he's trying to get awful. Just to keep myself entertained, you know?
Yeah, you got to do it on the road, man. There's a lot of the same view when you're driving. You got to do something.
Yeah. Help
Do
the
you-
time pass.
Do you have the driving rule of I know we do, like it doesn't matter if you have to pee, like we don't pull over until we got to get gas because we're trying to make it somewhere. Do you have that, or
Usually when I'm by myself, you know,
Yeah.
I kind of do that one, or if it's really bad, I'll just like pull to the side of the road and like pretend
right quickly? Yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with my tire? And I'm like, what's going on with my tire? Oh man, like you're looking around like this damn tire. Still going.
Yeah, if I pull over in a band because a band member has to pee, then that band member is getting driven away from while they're peeing. Like it's just that's what's happening. That's how it's going. They're gonna have to run and find me.
That's your next rib.
That's the next one. That, and to go back to the gnomes, I keep telling people,
oh yeah,
you got to gnome people, get gnomes and hide them in their gear so that they find them and they don't know who's doing it, and they're like, why? Why
is
is
there
this
gnome in here?
creepy ass gnome? I like that one, and I'm going to use that.
Yeah, gnoming.
Definitely gnoming.
So, vomit stories,
Yeah.
urine stories. We've run the gamut here.
We've done it all.
Yeah.
Real quick, just remind our listeners where they can find you, Mr. Rhett Titus.
And what's coming up.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Rhett Titus ANX. That's RHETTTITUS ANX. Facebook.com/Rhett Titus. YouTube.com/Rhett Titus. ProWrestlingTees.com/Rhett Titus ANX. You can always go to ShopHonor.com and search Rhett Titus and get my Ring of Honor t-shirts over there as well. TikTok.com/Rhett Titus. Is it TikTok.com or just TikTok app? But
no idea.
I'm Rhett Titus on there as well.
Right.
I'm trying to figure that thing out. But yeah, and Ring of Honor's got 2 big nights coming up at the 2300 Arena, August 20th, August 21st. One night I'll be taking on Jonathan Gresham for the Pure title, and one night I'll be teaming up with the rest of the Foundation, Jonathan Gresham included, Jay Lethal, and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, and we'll be taking on Violence Unlimited of Chris Dickinson, Homicide, Brody King, and Tony Deppen. So that one, big show, big 2 shows at the arena, live house shows for Ring of Honor. They'll be streaming on the Honor Club as well if you can't make it to Philadelphia. But next Thursday I'll be at Beyond Wrestling in Worcester, Massachusetts. Myself versus Chris Dickinson. I guess this plays on Monday, so I guess that match will already happen. But I'm all over on the indies too. So I always just kind of gotta look at my schedule that week and just figure out where the hell I am. It gets a lot. It gets to be a lot,
Is the schedule up on your Twitter or website or anything like that? Do you have something that's got your schedule on it so people can find out if you're in the area?
I don't.
All right, I'll edit that out.
But you can retweet. I always retweet or tweet about the shows. So something like that.
Awesome. So keep in touch and go see them. Go see a wrestling show. Go see an indie show. Go see a Ring of Honor show. Check it out, people, and buy some merch.
Yes.
Buy some merch.
Please buy some merch.
Support. Rhett, thank you so much for spending your time with us. We can't thank you enough. It's been awesome.
Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure.
And everybody always ask yourself, man,
what's your bacon?
What's your bacon?
You love your weekly dose of bacon as my podcast, but you need even more bacon. Well, just go over to baconismypodcast.com. You can engage even more with us over there. It's a pathway to our music, extra content, our social media pages. Most importantly, grab yourself some pretty sweet swag and put it all over your body parts. Again, that's baconismypodcast.com. Listen to some tunes, pick up some merch, and tell us, what's your bacon?
That was a fun interview.
Yeah. Super cool dude.
Yeah. He's another one that like he's super relaxed, so you don't get a read on him right away. And I was like, is he enjoying this?
Yeah.
Or is he not enjoying this? But like he's just another one that's like, man, I could hang out with that guy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. I like the fact that he doesn't mind if you eat meat around him.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And yeah, he likes to drink some beers and
he likes to talk about wrestling.
And he loves to talk wrestling.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit, we could do that for hours.
Yeah. We could do that for a long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Yeah, it was super cool. And yeah, make sure you check out him on ROH TV. It's on Fight TV every Monday.
Yeah.
I happen to watch that more than I watch Raw because it's easier to watch an hour than
it's definitely easier
forever.
Yeah.
And ever.
Yeah, it's like a third,
Yes.
2/3 easier.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
math.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Where can they find you?
You can find me myself. I was gonna say me my own self, but no, that's you.
No, that's me.
That's you. But I'm Jimmy G Shoes on all the socials. That's my personal on all those socials. Jimmy G's Shoes. And Craving Strange, my band is on cravingstrange.net. And from there, you can find us on all of the socials. We're also on Strangerhood TV, where if you're watching this, you're already here.
You
if
know
you're
all about
listening
it.
to this, you know, strangerhoodtv.com takes you right to the YouTube page that this show is on, as well as a bunch of other cool shows, some music stuff that I do, some music stuff that you do.
Yeah.
And where can they find more music stuff that you do?
More music stuff that I do is at Me My Own Self Mike on all the socials, and my band at Something Heavy Music on all the socials. And of course, I mean, you're here, but we should definitely remind you that on all of our socials,
Yes.
it's Bacon at Bacon's My Pod. And always make sure that you check out Spotify, Bacon's My Passion, because that's our music.
Yeah. All you got to do
We
is
do that too.
change the letters a little bit after the P.
Yeah.
And you've got music from us.
I mean, we're not trying to confuse you.
No.
But
No,
we just threw a lot of info at you, a lot to
just
unpack
confusing.
there.
It's okay. You can play it back at
Play it
half
back.
speed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can change it.
You can change it. You can go 1.5 and listen to podcasts faster, and that's going to change my life. Thank you, Rhett
It
Titus.
does. It really does. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, always remember to ask yourself one thing.
Most important thing. What's your bacon?
I'm keeping that in.
Sorry.